dysfunctional. Reports state that she was neglected by those
She's not
who cared for
fucking
her,
strong enough,
and
mate.
as a
I'll
result,
have to ring up
her
easy
name
and be like,
was
look, mate,
mentioned
fucking send me like a shitty little thing, or I can't even fucking stream on YouTube and that, mate. I can't do fuck all, mate. Like, look, you know what I mean?
as she had no real prospects
Fucking
ahead
paying
of
for
her.
fucking internet I can't
This
even
hardship
fucking
was
use.
only then compounded when Yolanda's sister left the country in pursuit for a better life. Her sister, Ona, moved to the UK. A few years passed by, and Yolanda decided to follow in her sister's footsteps. She made the bold decision to leave the life she knew, and she moved to another country. Yolanda loved her home country, but there just weren't enough opportunities for her there. The goal was to head to another place, earn some money, and then return home with enough to live a better life. A relatively simple plan, but a plan that would lead to her untimely death. And so in 2006, she made the difficult decision to leave her homeland. First, she moved to Ireland, but sometime later she made her way to the UK. Yolanda found work at various farms, jobs she enjoyed very much and appreciated. Those who knew her stated that Yolanda was incredibly happy in these roles. She worked hard and was saving her paychecks, counting down the days when she would be able to return home. Yolanda had a clear goal in mind, and because of this, she didn't waste any money on drinking. She didn't splurge out on any unnecessary luxuries, and she didn't socialize very much. She kept herself to herself.
Well, that's one way of keeping your money.
In a place called Brecon in Scotland, and the area in which she lived was known to be an area where migrants lived and
Not very fucking fun, though, I'll tell you
in
that
the
much.
UK, many migrants seek work at various farms around the country, and during the early 2000s, there was an influx of Eastern Europeans coming to work on the farms. The majority were law-abiding and worked hard, trying to earn an honest living for their families back home, but a few did also engage in organized crime. Although Yolanda did keep herself to herself, she did make some friends during her time working on the various farms. One of these friends was a fellow Lithuanian migrant, a 20-year-old man named Alex Skeda. Yolanda lived in a simple block of apartments in Brecon. Alex lived in the same block of apartments. The two considered each other to be friends, or at least, Yolanda considered Alex to be her friend. After some time working on the farms, Yolanda had been able to save up a considerable amount of money, around £12,000. Her father was ill at the time, so she had also been sending money back to help care for him. Things were going well. She got along well with the farmer she worked for, as they found her to be a hard-working woman who was reliable and never caused any problems. All she had to do was save a little bit more money and head back home. At some point, Yolanda spoke with Alex, and she told him that she had been able to save up £12,000. She then told him that she was planning to head home relatively soon, back to Lithuania. When Alex heard this, he began to plot. He decided that he wanted
Oh
to
no, we can't be having fucking that, can we?
and so he contacted a friend of his, 41-year-old Vitas Pletnikas.
Fucking
Vitas
hell,
was
that's
an
fucked up.
incredibly intimidating man with a history of violence. He too worked as a farm labourer.
How the fuck am I
and those
learn
who
about
worked with
this?
him described him as having a cold personality. Many people found him to be a scary individual. He seemed to have little regard for people's well-being. It is believed that whilst working on these farms, Vitas also engaged in criminal behaviour during his time in the UK. People feared Vitas, and for a good reason. He was born in Lithuania, and he served in the Soviet army. He was even deployed in the Soviet-Afghan War, a particularly brutal war, which resulted in 15,000 Soviet soldiers losing their lives, and over 2 million Afghan civilians were killed. Following this devastating war, Vitas moved to Germany in the early 2000s. For reasons that are unclear, it is said that he wasn't often fond of his fellow Lithuanians. During his time in Germany, Vitas got into an altercation with another man, and this altercation led into a full-blown fight. Tragically, Vitas ended up taking the man's life. He was arrested and was later found guilty of manslaughter. Vitus was sentenced to 7.5 years in a German prison. Following his release from the killing, Vitus somehow made his way to the United Kingdom, where he worked as a farm labourer.
Oh yeah, I just asked him to come in. You fancy coming living in here, do you, lad?
So,
Criminal record and that, have you, mate? Fucking no job and whatnot. Come on. Got you a new house and everything, mate. Move in tomorrow.
The two conversed and decided how they would go about.
I'll move you in today, mate. I mean, got your fucking new passport and everything for you, lad. Fuck's sake.
On this day, the two men barged through Yolanda's apartment door
Interesting.
while she was home alone. Yolanda was just peacefully reading in her home. She was startled as the two men began to confront her. They demanded that
Obviously
she
not
remain
like that,
quiet
because that's not
and
going to be
assured her that no
underneath
harm would
her.
come to her
It's
if
just
she
a
followed
guide.
their instructions. Vitus took the lead and told Yolanda to hand over her
Here,
bank
back looks too
account
flat, man. It's not. This is the problem with the multiplayer club, because CJ's stature is like,
over to her car.
do you know what I mean? It's a bit different, isn't it? So like, realistically, I need to make it look more muscly, is what I'd think.
Whilst Alex stayed at the
It doesn't look like his stature
Over
properly.
Yolanda, Vitus pushed the card into the cash machine, entered the PIN, and was met with an incorrect PIN notification. Yolanda had given a fake PIN number. Vitus
Good
became
on you, girl.
enraged. He quickly made his way back to the apartment. She believed that once the men got their money, they would leave, and she would be safe. Vitus left the apartment again. This time, to his relief, the PIN number worked. He checked the balance to see that there was £12,000 in the account, and he attempted to withdraw the money, only to realise that there was withdrawal limit of only a few £100 a day. Realising that the plan would not work, Vitus returned to the apartment in a violent rage. What exactly happened once Vitus walked through those doors isn't exactly clear, but it is believed that the two men bound and gagged Yolanda and began to brutally torture her. Vitus used a knife to cut into Yolanda's skin. Once the two men had inflicted severe harm and punishment on her, Vitus grabbed her last desperate moments, but tragically, the two men overpowered her, and she lost consciousness. It is unclear if she was killed by the smothering or what was to come next. The two men wasted no time in the disposal of Yolanda's body. Vitus retrieved a saw and other bladed articles, dragged Yolanda into the bathroom, and began to hack through her neck to remove her head, followed by her hands. Vitus wanted to remove the head and hands, as these would be easy ways to identify who she was. Once they were finished cutting up the body, the two men stopped for a moment.
Some
lit
proper
cigarettes
fucking
in their
sickos
mouths,
about in there,
and
mate.
enjoyed a
Fucking hell.
smoke before moving on to the next stage of the murder. The two men then placed Yolanda's head into a plastic bag. They left the apartment, boarded a bus, and made their way to the coast, which of course means they sat on a bus full of people with a severed head on their lap. They then walked to the coastline and
Fucking
threw
hell,
Yolanda's
man.
head into the ocean. The two men then walked further up the coastline and through the
Just casually get on the bus with a fucking severed head in their fucking bag and that. Some people are fucking tapped, man.
would never be found, but
That's crazy.
there was more that needed to be done. Next, the two men contacted an unsuspecting friend. They asked this friend if they could borrow his car, as Alex was moving apartment. The unsuspecting friend agreed, having no idea what his vehicle would really be used for. The two men packed Yolanda's torso into a suitcase, placed her into the boot of the car, and the suitcase into the water, again hoping that the remains would never be found. The two men then cleared Yolanda's apartment of all her belongings, making it look like she had opened and left. The two men were under the impression that no one would report Yolanda missing, at least not for a long time anyway, and with her body parts disposed of in the sea, they believed that they had committed the perfect crime. But justice for
Oh
Yolanda
yeah, well, I'm getting away with this, mate.
was
Fucking good job there, mate.
just
Fucking hell.
days after the disposal of Yolanda, there was a storm which
Fucking
would wash
weirdos,
Yolanda's
man.
body parts upon the shoreline faster than the two killers could ever have anticipated. On a windy day, just days after the murder, two sisters were running along the beach when they noticed a plastic bag. The sisters opened the bag, only to find the man in horror to their mother, who made a call to the police. But of course, the date was the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. The police call centre received the phone call and radioed in for officers to go to the beach, but some were under the impression that this could be some kind of twisted prank. But nevertheless, the police were soon on the scene.
No, more or less, the police just didn't want to do their fucking job. Oh no, it sounds like a practical joke, Dad. I think we'll leave that.
They were soon able to determine what it
Why was I look so fucked up there for?
And with that, a murder investigation team was soon on site. Over 80 investigators were called in. It was clear that this was a callous and brutal murder, and the police wanted to solve this as swiftly as possible. Just up the shoreline, Yolanda's for evidence. Yolanda's head was taken to a lab where DNA samples were taken. The remains of the head were then analysed, and a recreation of what she looked like was made. The similarities were striking. With the recreation made, the police were going to appeal to the public, hoping that someone would recognise her and come forward to give an identification. But before the police could share the image, a fellow police officer recognised her.
CDKeys.com. Enjoy incredible savings on FC points for PC and Xbox. Don't miss out. CDKeys.com. Pay less.
Immediately, the police officer said, "That's Yolanda." Yolanda was known to the police. On a number of occasions, she had helped the police as a translator. She was well liked by the officers who she worked with. The police contacted some friends and colleagues of Yolanda's, who said they had not seen her for some time.
Oh mate, I'm gonna fucking punch this up.
Began work on another farm, something that was common for such workers. With this identification, police officers found where she lived.
Fucking headphone carrier.
The apartment almost empty, and it seemed to be
Whoa! Fuck off!
although one investigator noticed a small blood spatter on a door frame. This sample was tested, and the DNA was a match with the body parts the investigators found. With this, they were certain that the body was Yolanda. The apartment was searched further. There appeared to be traces of blood on the carpet, but it was hardly
What is wrong with my
visible.
fucking stupid fucking...
The carpet was then pulled up, which exposed the underlay. There they found blood saturated into the flooring. Diluted blood spatters were also found in the bathroom, indicating that this was where the body had been dismembered.
I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna punch up this whole...
When she was decapitated, but perhaps not conscious. Outside the apartment, the police found a wheelie bin. Inside this wheelie bin, they
Bro, that's
discovered
my
a
only
plastic
fucking bomb,
bag
mate, and I've just
filled
fucking
with
spilt
blood
fucking water
belonging to
everywhere. That's
Yolanda,
fucking great, isn't it?
along
Magic.
with duct tape
Fucking
with
magic.
human hair stuck to the adhesive. This hair belonged to Yolanda, but on the non-sticky side of the tape, the police found fingerprints. Whoever these fingerprints belonged to was likely the one who had killed Yolanda. The police had gathered a large amount of evidence in a relatively short period of time. There was enough to help them find the person responsible. News of the murder spread quickly. Detective Chief Inspector Graham McMillan told the media, "This woman came to Scotland seeking a better life. I am determined that justice will be served." Investigators began speaking to those who were close with Yolanda, which there weren't many. So Alex was brought in quickly, and he was asked if he knew anything about the murder of his friend. Right away, investigators realized that Alex seemed to be nervous. He denied doing anything to her, but he didn't press. And before too long, Alex began to crack. He came clean. Well, he told the police that he was involved in the murder of Yolanda, but that it was his friend Vitas who had actually killed and dismembered her. The police did a background check on Vitas, and they noticed that he
Fuck me, all I do is rip a fucking bong, I fucking spill fucking water fucking everywhere, fucking break everything.
Alex
Fucking...
gave a timeline to the police,
Jeez Louise.
telling them where and when they disposed of the body parts. The harbour was served by a team of divers who were able to uncover the suitcase in the water. Alex also told investigators where they had disposed of the weapons that were used hacked through Yolanda's body. These weapons were recovered in a river. Hours and hours of CCTV was then analysed, and there they found footage of the two men walking around and disposing of the body. With the full body recovered, the police were able to corroborate what Alex had said. The two men had killed Yolanda. She had been bound and gagged, tortured, murdered, and dismembered in a brutal, calculated attack.
Vitas was shot.
Vitas was soon arrested. He was questioned by the police, but despite the overwhelming evidence, he tried to deny that he was involved at all. But the police literally had CCTV of him carrying the suitcase with Yolanda's body inside and holding onto her head on a bus. The investigators gave Vitas a chance to confess, but he refused. The police would later say that he seemed cold, having no remorse for his actions. The trial would soon begin. During the proceedings, Alex gave his version of events. He didn't fully pin the murder on Vitas, and in his confession, he massively implicated himself. He gave details as to
what am I replacing with this?
Denied any involvement. In court, the judge described Vitas as truly monstrous and said, "With chilling composure and determination, you put this evil plan into effect. Jolanta must have died."
Who's up to I? Oh, and upper 5 already going up to I. So look at that, beautiful. Beautiful. Oh no, that goes up to L. Sorry, I'm blind. So it's an extra 3 textures then. That's yeah, do I want to change that now? Or anything that goes to P is anything that goes to P should be a workshop.
He was sentenced to life with a minimum term of 28 years. Following the sentencing, Alex made an appeal.
Well, that's meant to be the fire outfit, but I need to change that.
Cooperation with law enforcement, he should have been given a more lenient sentence. His sentence was reduced from 20 years to 18 years. Many found this to
Mine's
be
only got one
justice for
texture.
Yolanda, especially considering the callous and gruesome
Get rid of
nature
my
of
nuts.
the murder.
Can do that
As I
easier.
mentioned before, it was 2 young girls who discovered the severed head of Yolanta. The mother of the 2 girls has stated that they struggled with what they saw.
Modifiers, object, upper 9-2. No, upper 9-1 you divvy. There you go.
Thankfully, therapy was arranged for them both, as I can imagine that seeing something as gruesome as that in their younger years has left quite an impact on their mental state. Since being incarcerated, Vitas has tried